Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's live at the waterhole. And we are indeed live at this waterhole here up at Aldonia Lodge in Kenya. We have a rather large male elephant joining us. And I'm glad that you could all join us too. My name is Kelly. I'm going to be with you for the next couple of hours. We will be hopping between our cameras. We've got some fantastic cameras at the moment with lots of activity. And they are indeed all live, as am I. It is, what day is it? It's the 11th of September. It's Thursday, the 11th of September, and it's 1 minute past 11 here in the Lowveld of South Africa. We are delighted you are all with us. We love to hear from everyone that is out there. Some absolutely brilliant questions coming through over the last couple of days. I do have giraffe-based homework to submit, so please send today's questions in to wildearth.tv/questions, or you can scan the QR code just in front of the zebra there on your screens. We love to hear from everyone, an integral part of the show. You can also join the conversation on X using the hashtag WildEarth. And let's get those discussions going. Ooh. Send your questions and comments through also via WhatsApp on +27 786 302 336. We are delighted you could join us from wherever you may be. This big bull looks like he's got just one tusk. I remember someone once told me to give these guys a little bit more space. That might be a recent injury. Tusks, they are basically teeth, and to snap teeth can be incredibly painful. This is actually quiet at this waterhole. Yesterday there was elands and oryx and all sorts here, like 5 or 6 elephants. And these zebra are very cautious of this boy today. Mr. Elemental, good morning to you too. Thank you for joining us from Albany, Western Australia. It is a pleasure. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for your participation. If you haven't sent us anything through before, please do get involved. It's great to hear from everyone. And as I always say, I certainly do not know everything. This is a great time to discuss things. Send in your thoughts, your questions. I will attempt to answer what I can. I will not cheat. If I don't know something, I will give myself homework and go and do a bit more research. It's such a nice opportunity to keep on top of things. Things change so quickly in science and knowledge bases today. And your questions definitely keep me on my toes. And it's nice to get other opinions. It's very difficult to, I find it very difficult to know exactly what to trust these days. I often stick to my, now we've got another, hello oryx, fringe-eared oryx, I believe. I did some extensive oryx stroke Himsbok research recently because of this, and I discovered that all Himsbok are oryx, but all oryx are not Himsbok. There's a couple of other species of oryx that I did not know about because I have never operated in East Africa or Kenya. So it's all good learning for me as well. Malika Strand, eland and guinea fowl earlier. I'm sorry you can't stay for the show today, Malika. That's sad. But you must try and come back soon and join us. But hopefully it's going to be a great show. But you will be missed, Malika. And Sanjeev Roy, zebras are not going to back off today as there's only one giant. You could be right, Sanjeev. I've seen... There was giraffe getting very close in there as well yesterday to those elephants. But yeah, they are standing their ground for sure for now. Very on edge though. We do remember, I can't actually remember how long ago it was, but we did see a giraffe get a fairly decent smack off a elephant in this situation. Those zebras are keeping a close eye on him. Look at this. This zebra almost looks like he's faced him down there. Yeah, not recommended. Hello, Given. Thank you very much, Given and Glover, all the way from South Africa. It's your first time here. Welcome. I'm not sure if your name Given and Glover or Gatseni. Either or. You are very, very welcome. Thank you for joining us. This is I've never actually been to this location. So I'm not entirely sure what the setup is and how many pans there are, how many pumped pans there are, how it varies during the summer months, whether or not there's natural pans. But based on the amount of activity we see at this little pan here, my guess would be that there's not lots of water in the surrounding areas, because given a choice, the animals that I've seen drinking in between these elephants, I feel like they would probably rather drink elsewhere. But the fact that they do get in there suggests to me that there's not vast amounts of water. So whether or not this is the only pan anywhere in the area, I'm not sure. But my guess would be that this is probably the only one in this general vicinity, because no one really wants to stand in the middle of 6 elephants trying to get their daily drink. Two discos, Dave. I'm still fascinated to know, what were the 2 discos you went to, and why didn't you go to any more, Dave? 2 discos, Dave. Good morning, one and all. Hand pink waving back. Blustery, heavy downpours in northwest England today. I'm unsurprised. I'm sorry you are coming into your changes of season. I feel you. I was there for many years. And still no sign of Mount Kilimanjaro through the clouds. No, I still haven't, and I'm remembering to look a bit more frequently. Sorry, Dave. No Kilimanjaro for you today, I'm afraid. These clouds are still blocking us. Probably not as many clouds as there are in northwest England, though. I would love to know how far these elephants actually wander off to, and how I should be keeping records, but I suppose I'm not here enough to keep records of who comes back and how frequently. That would be very interesting. But let's go over to Tau. I'm pretty sure there's going to be excellent activity there around Tau Lodge. There normally is. Lovely big pan there. Great opportunities to watch all sorts of things. Was it a Tau yesterday? I think they said they saw lions there overnight, but our waterbuck are still feeding in this pen, and I think that probably does look like grass that's growing there. Waterbuck are of course known for frequenting watery areas. Often found around water. One of their defence mechanisms is to scoot into water, although I've seen other antelopes attempt the same thing. I've seen impalas chased into water, I've seen kudu chased into water. There's actually been I'm not sure if any of them have been seen live. I'm sure there might have been, because I know this camera at Tower's been here for a very, very long time. When I first started working there was a camera there. But I've seen wild dogs, African wild dogs, hunt several times in this area and chase prey species into water. It's quite dramatic. But this waterhole at Tower very rarely disappoints. Oh, Dave, so you had 2 first-generation Land Rover discoveries in the past. Okay, I thought you meant you'd been going to discos and you'd only been to 2, but it was actually based on the discovery. That would probably make more sense. But I'm glad you're not over going to discos, Dave. That's great news. Enjoy many future discos. Mercedes Bean, greetings Wild Earth crew and chatters. Happy Thirsty Thursday indeed. We have a wildebeest who's also hopped in here for a drink.
For years we've shared virtual wildlife. Now let's experience it for real. I'm Lauren Arthur and I'd love to show you my amazing home here in the Greater Kruger of South Africa. This 5-night journey is an exclusive connection to my piece of untamed Africa. I live here in these gorgeous landscapes surrounded by epic wildlife. The wild is calling, so come and join me.
What does it take to handle the wild? Balance. Determination. Focus.
Yaku!
And gear that can take a beating so you don't have to.
Greatest wildlife spectacle on planet Earth. We'll see you there.
And that is why we humans will intervene to remove snares, because it was our fault in the first place. And then there are discussions around waterholes, if animals get stuck in waterholes. If it was a man-made waterhole, humans will often intervene. But then when does something go from being a man-made waterhole to a natural pan? And yeah, it can get quite blurry. It is a very hot topic at the moment. And ultimately, I personally believe it's down to the people who are responsible for managing that wildlife area. That's their job. We hope they've been employed based on their qualifications and understanding of ecology, and that is for them to make decisions, would be my stance on it. I do not have the information or the background or anything else to criticise or question that decision one way or the other. That is a very long-winded answer, as they normally are. Oh, is that a cone-billed duck there. Oh, he's cool. I didn't see you, ducky. That's a very nice. These used to be called knob-billed ducks, and now I think they're called comb ducks. Looks like a male sort of in the bottom left corner, and if you look on his beak, there's a big sort of comb or a knob, whatever you want to call it. That's a nice image of him. Lion Lloyd, welcome. Thank you for joining. You were born and bred in Zimbabwe, lived there for 55 years, a lot of interacting with wild animals as a safari lodge manager for 10 years, and had the privilege to raise 3 lions, wow, from cubs to adulthood, hence your name. Also running an animal sanctuary. You now live in Cole, pronounced Cole, so thank you. You're in the UK and you're missing the wildlife and the weather, and you've stumbled across the programme a week ago, and I'm stuck to it every moment you can. It's an absolute joy and a pleasure to have you here, Lion Lloyd. Please continue to get involved, and I'm glad we are scratching your wildlife itch for you. Look at that lovely comb duck, knob-billed duck. Funny looking things though. Come on, lift your head up. Show us your comb. He's not going to lift his head up now. Sanjeev Roy, you are asking for a rainfall report around South Africa so we can at least guess how long ellies are going to suffer from dry season. It depends on the area, Sanjeev Roy. I live in the Lowveld, and our rainy seasons, we got like a really light spattering, but nothing recordable maybe a couple of days ago, so the clouds are going to start building soon. Rainfall depends heavily on the area, so it depends where in Africa we are. Look at that beak, that's a funny looking duck, eh? And white-faced whistling ducks stood next to them. It depends on the area. It's we sometimes try and guess when our rains are going to come. We think it's been getting a little bit later. End of October maybe will be the start of our rainy season, somewhere around there. October, it varies, but when the rains come, we will indeed give you some updates on rainfall. Thank you for sending that through. That's made me smile. I have a photo of Angus watching Wild Earth TV. He looks like he's loving it. That's so cool. Thank you for sending that in. I really appreciate it. That makes me happy. Animal behaviour is my passion, and I love the fact he looks like he's enjoying it. It's not stressing him out. Not chasing the buffalo. We're all good. Ivan Barkhouston. I apologise. Why did a waterbuck have a white ring? Did they sit on a white paint can? That is one theory. The theory I prefer to proffer is it helps other herd members to follow each other through the bush. Is the general consensus. It's classified as a follow me sign. I did a lot of digging the other day because the waterbuck with the white ring, they are Ellipson waterbuck, the ones we see here, but further north, eastish, the Dufasa waterbuck. We've had them on camera a few times as well. It's very cool to see the difference. They've got almost like white trousers. And I desperately tried to find out why they were different. There was some suggestions of different, that they're present in different vegetation types. But ultimately we don't really know why one would have developed a white ring and the other one sort of slightly less white trousers, but also believed to be a follow me sign. So that is my understanding of that ring on those waterbuck. Lots of white points and things on animals. Sometimes you see them like the back of the ears of giraffe. Lots of white points are often classified as follow me signs. Melanistic marble. No, I haven't seen a knob-billed duck for a while, and I didn't even notice him standing quietly there. But look how much this scene has changed since we got here. We've got lovely big kudu now. All the zebras have turned up. The wildebeest have turned up. There's some lovely kudu bulls at the back there. The ever morphing scenes on our waterholes is very, very cool. Yeah, there's some big kudu bulls. I wonder if this is the same boys that were here yesterday. There's still more kudu coming in. Lovely scenes here at Tau, and great to see these big kudu bulls back having a drink. Let's go across to Camelthorne, see what our multitude of hippos are up to across at Camelthorne. Spas, you're asking, can we age a waterbuck by the length of horns? Kind of. You can't sort of count the rings and age them sort of thing, but once they're fully grown, so they mature probably about 5 or 6 years old, the horns are fully grown, so smaller horns will determine or indicate that it's a younger animal, but it's not a case, you can't sort of count the rings or anything and age them. But bigger horns are adult animals, and shorter, lesser horns are younger bulls. Thank you, Julian Thomas. Thank you for your input. Hi everyone. Hello, Julian Thomas. Knob-billed duck is the official name for the African and Indian species. Comb duck is the South American equivalent, although it's a recent split, so both names are used for both in the recent past. Excellent. I feel like knob-billed duck was older and comb duck has been used more recently. And I think that has got something to do with why lots of bird names are changed to make them more uniformed. So internationally, if you see a duck with a big thing on its beak in Africa, you call it the same thing as if you saw a duck with a big thing on its beak in South America. We've definitely been seeing a lot of these zebra popping in for drinks here at Camelthorne up in Botswana.
This unfolds in front of you.
The Wild Earth Impact Foundation is a non-profit that uses the power of wildlife storytelling as a force for good. We create sustainable development projects that showcase conservation stories, empower people, and inspire environmental action. As a registered South African PBO, you can make a tax-deductible donation to the Wild Earth Impact Foundation. To find out more, visit our website.
My full name is Maxine Gaines. Best part of the job, gosh, I just love everything about guiding. I love I love being able to observe animal behavior and animals behaving naturally. So for me, that's by far the best part of the job. And so what we do here at Wild Earth is develop those connections with the people that are viewing, and maybe just light a little spark that says, you know what, I want to be involved in protecting this ecosystem.
That is brilliant.
Ria, you say the best kind of roadblock?
Absolutely. Look at this.
Hello, girls. How cool is this?
These elephants have made some super little individual mud splash puddles, but they've gone for now, but there's still plenty of water, and we had a lovely sighting here not long ago of some elephants way in the middle of there, splashing and playing in the water. Just trying to see, this is a mixed, looks like a mixed group of impala. I actually noticed a few days ago some of the female impala here are starting to look a little bit rotund, starting the countdown for birthing season. There's a really chilled vibe today. Look at that big boy over at the back there. Chilling, resting that trunk on his tusk, and that's just a resting pose. I guess a bit like if you would rest your leg or your elbow on something. His trunks are heavy. This one coming in now, he's either been in the water or he's had a very competent splashing session. It's funny, I'm just wondering if he's going to dust himself now. That seems to be quite a popular spot for dust throwing. They will, oh, no, he's scratching. They seem to enjoy that spot. Over on the other side there was a few of them standing around dusting away the other day. They can be quite selective as well, I've noticed, elephants, about exactly what type of mud they want to use, and also they need to choose the best dust. They use sand, but in my experience, oh, excuse me, in my experience they prefer dust. Maybe it gets into all the cracks and crevices better than sand does. Roslyn, you are asking, will elephants still swim in winter? They do. Sometimes they will go in. We saw them in thorny bush a little while ago. I mean, it's still technically winter. It's probably less likely, but maybe little ones might go in for a play. It's much, much less common, but they potentially would. If there was water deep enough, because remember as well, everything is much, much deeper. There's more water availability in the summer. Certainly where I am in this area. So it's not impossible, but probably not as frequent. What is that elephant doing behind that? Is there one behind that tree? Oh yeah, there is. Are they going to have a little pushy shovey over there? I think this one closest to us now is also resting that trunk on his tusks, taking the weight off.
My name is Amy, and today we're going to be doing things a little bit differently.
Would you like to know what an elephant's favourite food is? You could ask me questions like that in real time. Our safaris are live and interactive from the heart of Africa. Over here. Watch Safari Live and connect with nature.
The bush, full of beauty, wonder, and absolute chaos. And now, all that madness has its own show. It's called a Wild Bush Week. The countdown of the most outrageous, heart-stopping, and sometimes downright ridiculous wildlife moments of the week. Lions throwing their weight around. Hyenas gate-crashing the buffet. Leopards doing, well, leopardy things. Each week, it's a fresh reel of safari gold, a mix of drama,
She's just got to impala everybody.
danger, and a healthy dose of laughter. So, if you fancy a highlight show with bite, and I don't mean just the animals, tune in to a Wild Bush Week. You bring the tea, and we'll bring the tusks, tails, and teeth.
These boys are taking their time over some leisurely dust bathing, but let's go and have a look at coral, see who we have there. We haven't found a vacant pat. There's Mr. Inyala coming in as well. Super differences. These hippos in the middle of these pans. This hippo was being harassed yesterday, but not today. We've got a lovely warthog here and an Egyptian goose by the looks of it. I think it was here I recently saw there was a pair of Egyptian geese swimming really close to the hippo, and I checked, and apparently it's quite a common thing. I'd never seen it before, but apparently they frequently sort of loiter around hippos to hoover up food that might have been kicked up by them. There's something coming in to drink on that other side there as well. Spas, you're asking how easily can we distinguish black from blue wildebeest? It's fairly easy. I've never seen a black wildebeest in the flesh, I don't think. Blue wildebeest are not as dark and they're a bit bigger. Black wildebeest, they've got more tufty manes and they are quite black. And often it's based on geography as well. I've never seen a black wildebeest. Black wildebeest were historically found across the Northern Cape, Free State, that sort of area, but they have started to be introduced into game farms. But I've never seen a black wildebeest in the wild. But they're very black. I always think they look more like punks. They've got sort of spiky fur and they're a bit smaller and jet black. And much less common. Riley, you are saying this hippo is quite nonchalant. He has been. He was slightly less nonchalant yesterday when there was a group of elephants. Is that a warthog over the other side there rolling? I didn't see him till now. And a lovely big kudu bull coming down, although he's got big horns, but his body size wasn't enormous. But I think the same as elephants, sometimes that horn size can be a genetic, it can be defined by genetics. I remember in Madikwe, one of the lodges I used to work at, occasionally there was a huge kudu bull that would hop the fence and come into the garden, and it's the biggest kudu bull I've ever seen in my life. I'm sure. When he went, I saw him in the garden once, and I purposely sort of looked at where he was standing and made a note on a tree, like a visual note of how high his horns came up to, and those horns, they were sort of, the tip of the horns were like 2 meters. Don't quote me on it, but it was massive. Like I couldn't fathom that there could be such a ginormous kudu, but he was an absolute monster. Like physical structure as well. He was very, very tall, very, very long horns, but also he was built like an absolute tank. I was not going to be walking down that garden to get a closer look at him, put it that way. Those warthogs they're eking out a living there, hey? There's obviously something there for them to feed on. But everyone is limping into this rainy season. But let's go across and have a look at this chick, or no longer chick. I always feel weird calling them black eagles. They're Verreaux's eagles, but this Verreaux's black eagle chick. And see, I know this chick has been seen flying with its parents, But let's see if they have popped in for a visit to this nesting site. Oh, look at this guy. I would love to see him take off. I want to watch here for a little while. I think he first, Eagle Lover actually gave me a report on this, which was super helpful. He was missing, he, she, not sure, was missing from the nest on the 7th. Wasn't sure if he'd flown or where he was, but he wasn't on either of the nests. And then on the 8th, there was actually a capture of him flying with both of the adult birds. So he is airborne.
Do you want to know why impala are the most common antelope we find here in the Kruger National Park? You can ask me questions like this in real time. Our safaris are live and interactive here in the heart of Africa. Join me on Safari Live. Connect with nature.
Some ellies that we're approaching now.
The light on her as well is absolutely gorgeous.
So we are going to enjoy the rest of this sunset.
Wow, this is absolutely crazy.
And thank you for joining us. For myself and Cam, we will see you next time.
Are you ready for the adventure of a lifetime? Wild Earth Travel's newsletter is your passport to a magical journey. Explore exclusive travel options featuring special offers at stunning Wild Earth locations and all hosted by your favorite presenters. Don't miss out. Head over to our website and subscribe to the Wild Earth Travel newsletter today and stay in the know on all our unforgettable adventures. Wild Earth Travel, where Africa comes alive.
To me, I normally go on body shape. Trixie Rose, hello. Thank you very much for joining us. You're saying, hi there, super earthlings. Black wildebeest horns are different from blue wildebeest. They're curving forward. Also another brilliant way to tell them apart. I'm trying to think if I've ever even seen a black wildebeest on a game farm. I don't think I have. But yeah, those horns, they're spikier manes, different colour, different body size, and often geography. Julian Thomas, it has been wonderful watching this chick grow to fledging. I've also very much enjoyed it. I watched a lot, and then sort of I think I went missing for like it was a week or 10 days or something, and suddenly it looked like a completely different bird. That gawky gape had gone. Those flight feathers, or those adult feathers, had come in, and the face had just I don't know what day that gawky chick gape changed to this severe, impressive beak. But yeah, it's been lovely watching this chick grow up. Mayesh SA, yes, He has grown up. I don't know why I'm saying he. I've got no idea. But let's say he for now. And it will take quite a long time to work out, I believe, if it is male or female. But let's call him he for now, because why not? I'm sure this eagle, this chick, well, it's not really, you can't really call him a chick anymore, maybe hanging around for a little while. I'll be interested to see what day he stops coming back in general. Let's head across to Tembe. Always a delight to... look at that. Keeping his feathers in tip-top condition. I would love to catch him taking off for a flight one day. But let's go across to Tembe. See, these elephants are going to go in now. This could be very cool. There was a proper pool party in here a little while ago. Katie in Sydney, joining us all the way from Sydney. Thank you for taking the time to be here, Katie, and thank you for checking in. You love watching and listening to commentary in the evenings. I'm glad. Maybe while you're cooking dinner. I'm glad you're enjoying it, Katie in Sydney. Please do continue to get involved in the chat. These elephants almost look like that one that's in there is going, oh, and everyone else goes, that looks like a really good idea. Two Discos Dave. See, I think about you differently now. I know it's Discovery cars as opposed to dancing in the discos, just two of them. They have been introduced in Amakhala. I think it probably used to be part of their natural range, but I know there's lots of places have introduced them. They're not super common. And Lady Macbeth, you're saying you saw some in Namibia, definitely introduced there. You're saying they're pretty animals. They're very attractive. And they're quite striking looking animals. But no, I've never seen one in the flesh. Oh, Tinnis, you're also saying there are black wildebeest at Amakhala. I've never been to Amakhala either. Maybe I should... swim time! Splash! Now let's see if he's joined by anyone else. That's very cool. Look at this guy getting right in there. Rianne, thank you for updating that. You're saying black wildebeest are more common on the open plains in the Free State, Northwest and Northern Cape provinces. I think that would have been their historical range, but I'm not sure where. I know there's lots of places that introduce them. I'm sure there's game farms around here that have black wildebeest that have been introduced. But yeah, I think that would probably be more of their endemic areas, but they're being introduced in various locations. I'm just trying to think. I don't think I've ever seen them. I don't think you would put them together. That's how nature's clever. They wouldn't normally be found in the same regions, I don't think. I'm not even sure if they would be classified as being endangered. I know they're nowhere near as common as the blue wildebeest. See, this guy's got the right idea. Monique Sherry, you love seeing lots of fellow Aussies around here. Hands yellow, heart red. I'm not entirely sure what that means. I'm assuming it's an emoji of a hand something, but I think I'm just going to continue reading out the emojis, which is hands yellow, heart red. It's lovely to have lots of people from all over the world that are popping in to say hi. It's very special to be able to share these images and events with people from all over the world. I've seen it from both sides. I've obviously from the inside of Wild Earth TV, but I've also been a part of it from the outside. My mum used to love watching Wild Earth TV and the waterhole cameras, and I remember she was coming to visit me years ago, and I said, "Mum, it's going to be cold." Because my mum she lived in England. And she said, "No, it's not going to be cold. It's Africa." I said, "Mum, it's going to be cold. Bring beanies and things." And she said, "No, it's not going to be cold." I said, "Okay." And then a couple of days later, one of the presenters on Wild Earth said, "Oh, it's cold." And she rang me. She said, "Oh, so-and-so said it's going to be cold. Maybe I should bring a beanie." So my mum was an avid follower for many years. And then when she was poorly, we actually sat and watched some of the cameras together and some of the shows together. So it was... I've seen it from both sides, and it is a very special thing to be a part of. So thank you everyone for joining in and making it so special. It's a gift and a pleasure to be able to broadcast all over the world, even as far afield as Australia. Recycled Teenager UK, another one of my favourite names. Do the waterholes contain salt for the animals? I don't think so. I know some places will put salt licks out. I don't think they're placed in the water, but I know some reserves or some estates will put salt licks out for the animals, but I think they rather put them in a block so they can be used if they want to, rather than in the water. As far as I'm aware, anyway. That's my understanding of it. Whether or not they put salt blocks here, I'm not too sure. Well, that was a lovely swim from our big boy giant here. Quick in and out, but let's go to Simbavati. I would love to see what's happening across there. We're getting some... What's he doing chasing around there, that impala? What are you doing? It's the wrong time of year to be doing that. What's this chasing? I'm just seeing what's going on here with these impalas. I think this is general tomfoolery between impalas. I don't think there's any predators around. Did you see there was two that just did a whole loop right the way around the pan? This impala in the middle here is like, what are you doing? Why are you all chasing around? It's a little bit out of season for males to be doing that. The rut is normally sort of May, June-ish, but ours is not to reason why. Okay, we have had a couple of people asking about how our baby cheetahs are doing, Tammy and her cubbies, and they've been moved to a bigger enclosure, which we do not have cameras on. HESC, so Hoodspray Endangered Species Centre, has posted a few updates on their social media if anyone wanted to go and have a look. Apparently they are happy and well and loving life and are still safe and well with their mum. So if anyone would like to have a look and get some updates on those 4 little cubby cubs, go across to Hoodspray Endangered Species Centre, or HESC, and I'm sure you can follow up and see how they're doing. But also a very cool thing to be a part of, and I believe at least one of those, one of her births was caught live in the open, and I think they were born 30th of April, I think, because I finally learnt it after I had to check numerous times as to how old they were. But yes, that is the information on Tammy and her cubs, so apologies for not being able to show you how they are doing, but it's because they have moved onwards and upwards, but are safe and happy and well. I'm not sure what that chasing around was all about then. Hello, Julius Muller. Welcome to the show. Thank you very much for being here. You're from the Western Cape. This is the first time you are joining Safari Live. You wanting to introduce yourself? Thank you for introducing yourself. It's hugely appreciated. It's lovely to have you. You are most welcome. And the name of the little antelope around the waterhole that we have been looking at now, these are impalas. There's two still in the shot there. There was an inyala across on the other side there. But you will see many impalas on the show, Julius Muller, and I apologise for not updating you. That's my bad. But you are very welcome. Please call again anytime. There we go. There's those two little impalas. They're actually quite big impalas. They're bigger than you would think. But welcome to the show, and thank you for saying hi. Everyone is very, very welcome here. Sorry, I can't remember where we were going to go then. FC, I forgot, if I'm honest, but we can go there. There we go, we're at Camelthorne. We're in Camelthorne in Botswana. That's where we were going. Now there was an inlet here. Is this inlet still here? Yes, it looks like it. I would be so nervous if I was the people that had put this pipe in here, because this looks like sand to me. And elephants make short work of sand. I would be very concerned that any water pipes would be ripped from the ground and consumed by elephants. But it doesn't seem to be the case. Wow. Taxi lady from the Outer Hebrides. Outer Hebrides, I went to the Isle of Mull once. I think that's the Inner Hebrides. And I had the most glorious... I did a A-level biology field trip there. And we were all dreading it because we thought the weather was going to be terrible. But it was absolutely stunning. So welcome from the Outer Hebrides, if you do indeed mean Scottish Outer Hebrides. But you've asked a really difficult question. But I want to address it. Even though I don't know the answer. How much of South Africa is fenced off and in private ownership? I have no idea. Quite a lot. It's also quite a complicated one to answer, because you've got the immediate thing that springs to mind is sort of the Greater Kruger National Park. And it's a massive area. It's 2 million, well, it's probably more than that now, 2.2 million hectares in size. But some of that, the Kruger National Park is part of SANParks, so is government run. But there are other reserves that are not closed off from that are classified as private reserves. It's quite a lot. But I'm not even going to guess, taxi lady, to be honest. I'm not even going to guess at a percentage. But I tell you what I am going to do. I am going to find out though, because that's a really interesting question. So how much of SA game, I'm typing it in my phone because if I don't write it down I will forget. How much of SA game reserves are I'm gonna try and work out how much is privately owned rather than how much is fenced, because that's I would really struggle to find that information, I think. But excellent question. It's quite a bit because of human habitation and things like this. You know, thousands of years ago it would be a completely different story. But it's quite a bit, but I will try and find out. Monique Cherry, yes, it is very special memories to have with my mum. You've been watching since 2016. It's a really cool thing to be able to share. My mum watched for years. She had a favourite leopard. Her favourite leopard was Karula. She had a favourite presenter. That was not me. Yeah, it was some lovely memories. She used to get involved in the web chats and all the rest of it. So I've seen both sides of it, and it's a very cool thing to be a part of now and to be able to share. Penelope Kenyon, caracal sighting at Lentoro last night. Oh my goodness, I'm desperate to see a caracal. I have not seen a caracal for years. I was in the park last week for a couple of nights, and we kept saying, maybe there's a caracal around the corner, but we were not lucky, unfortunately. Ooh, that sounds exciting. We are going to the Masai Mara now. That's going to be very interesting to see. I like someone put this stick here to try and stop elephants going there. I think they're going to be sorely disappointed if they think that little stick is going to stop an elephant from going further in there. Oh, and Mr. H UAE, there was a leopard at Serendella last night. Oh my goodness. Have we been here before? Or is this a new camera? I don't recognise this. Oh, I think we have been here once before. Look at that. Huh. That's awesome. Very cool. There was a leopard at Serendella last night. My last tracker currently works. My ex-tracker is working at Serendella. I will maybe give an update to go look for that leopard. Taxi Lady Outer Hebrides, Isle of Lewis. You asked because we have the right to roam in Scotland. We do not have the right to roam. In South Africa there are indeed privately owned areas that are managed, and you do not have the right to roam. So it's very different, but I'm going to try and find out a bit more information on that and see if I can give you a better answer. Thank you very much, Sascott Keith. I'm assuming you checked on that for me somewhere. I try not to check anything while I am live. But Sascott Keith is saying approximately 20 million hectares, 14% of SA is privately owned game reserves. So that is quite a lot. I actually thought it would be more than that, to be honest. But I'm trying to work out, there will be a difference between like fenced areas and privately owned areas. But 14%, that's quite significant. So thank you for checking that for me, Sascott Keith. I appreciate it. Joanne Mello, hello. Happy Thursday to you too, Joanne Mello. So we have an eland here in the Masai Mara. I have also never been to the Masai Mara. Sadly, it's on my list. And this is confusing me a little bit because it's really rocky. It looks like rocky copies up here, and my brain tells me Masai Mara is plains. But this is a common eland found up in the Masai Mara in this region. But yeah, this is a new location for me. How very exciting. Elands really are monsters, aren't they? Big. Show me your side profile, eland. These eland often have big dewlaps, often more pronounced in the males. They really are enormous. I think I've heard they can get up to a ton, these elands, but also very, very agile. I've seen some amazing images of these animals jumping. They jump like you wouldn't believe. Kathy, this is indeed a magnificent eland. I'm just trying to see what he's eating there. Is he feeding on the bushes? It looks nice and green here. I'm trying to see if they will feed on leaves or grass. I'm just trying to see what he's feeding on there. There's lots of it though. I bet some of our low-felled animals would be incredibly jealous of this eland currently. Kathy, yes. I fully agree with you. It's amazing how wildlife managed to show the rear view, even to a static camera. Yep, tell me about it. Me and my first tracker, Noel Satoli, we came up with an idea many years ago to create a photographic book called Butts of Africa, and because they are seen so very regularly. He's having an absolute feast up here on this hill. Probably he, still can't see properly. Let's leave this lovely big eland. Lovely camera though. I'm sure we're going to get some great sightings here. Let's head across to El Donio and see what new visitors we have had arrive. There are some elephants there in the background, but I've been waiting for this because my homework was about drinking giraffes. One question was, we know how much an elephant can drink in its trunk, and the second was, and someone said, can we tell what giraffes can drink? The answer is no, because it's basically, it would be like trying to work out what a human can drink, because it goes into a mouth, down the throat, and into a stomach. So it's not, I couldn't work out how much a giraffe's esophagus could hold in cubic volume. But I did do some reading around the actual mechanisms they use, and it's almost like a suction pump. They will use their lips, they suck, the epiglottis will block sort of immediate water flow, and then that epiglottis will open, and muscular contractions and peristalsis will move that water down their esophagus and into their stomach. And there's the blood flow regulators, there's the valves that stop them passing out. There's also a network of capillaries that dissipate blood to stop sudden rushes of blood to or from the head. But I was unable to establish how much cubic volume a giraffe's esophagus has.
Oh, wow. Even a hyena coming into the action as well now. Oh my word. She's stalking the hyena now. Leopard, hyena, lion, all together in one shot. Oh. This is action-packed.
Would you like to know at what age a buffalo calf gets its horns? These are questions that you can ask me in real time. Our safaris are live and interactive here in the heart of Africa. Join me on Safari Live and connect with nature.
Join our expert guides at dawn for a live, immersive safari as the bush comes to life.
Found ourselves a chameleon, and look how he's changed color.
Every sunrise brings new discoveries.
Pound for pound, a leopard is one of the strongest cats around.
Ask questions, share your thoughts, and connect with nature, live and in real time.
Great excitement, great happiness.
Start your day with adventure.
To me, but you could see it almost looked like cerebral fluid coming out through the side of its head. And yeah, they are super resilient. But let's go across to Founders. I think we've got a visitor there that I would love to catch, but this is a very strange angle of this giraffe, not one I've seen regularly. Yay, hello Founders Rhino. It's so nice that we get to see Rhino here so regularly here at Founders. And this is a lovely, I enjoy the camera angle here as well. It feels like you're really part of the action here. a little piggy pig. Heading for a post-drink scratch, maybe. I did some stuff recently with a place where rhinos stayed, and my back knowledge of just how much they love to have a good scratch and a rub on things was very useful. It's a very, very important part of rhino life, and one of the things that makes them who they are, if you want to phrase it like that. Monique Cherry, this is a lovely shot of this rhino. Let's see, is that rock moving? I'm not. I was half expecting that rock to move. Then I'm sure this rhino could push this rock if he so decided. You can see on that horn there. There's a definite area sort of that's been rubbed. It's more bulbous at the bottom there, and then closer to the top, you can see there's been lots of rubbing done there. Lion Lloyd, yes, that's. I was also trying to work it out that the only way the riddle would be solved was how much water is drunk by a giraffe would be under controlled conditions. I know they can drink up to 40 litres a day, but super controlled conditions at a zoo where they could measure the water after one gulp or after the animal was finished. I know we've got a good idea that they will drink. They can drink 35 to 40 litres a day, but I was trying to work out sort of how much. In the same way we know that an elephant's trunk, it's been measured, can fit 6 litres. A big bull can fit in one suck up to 6 litres. It would be like. Yeah, I couldn't even work out a way of explaining it. Sort of, yeah, so I didn't find the answer to that. If anyone else knows the cubic litre capacity of a giraffe's esophagus, please feel free to let me know. I will happily take it under instruction, but I couldn't work out a way of finding out. I tried, but failed, if I'm honest. Look, that rock's moving. Without even trying, look. I think it's fabulous watching these rhinos have a really good scratch, and they will almost straddle these rocks, or sometimes they find a quite dangerous looking stump to me sometimes, and they really get up in there and have a good scratch. You can see it's very therapeutic for them. There's an element of necessity, so husbandry. They will be getting parasites and stuff, but it also looks like they really enjoy it. I think all rhinos, wherever they are, should have access to nice jaggedy or nice rocks like this that they can really get a good scratch going on. That little kink in the end of his tail there. Mr. Elemental, I think you might be right. You believe that this rhino is practicing mindfulness. I think you're right. And I think we could all take a leaf or two out of many of these animals' books and spend a little bit more time practicing mindfulness. Habit. I'm not sure what happened there. I'm not sure if that was me or the cameras, so I apologise for that interim. Okay, but we are back out of Donio, so never fear. But yeah, I was practicing in the mornings. I would before I started my day, I would drink coffee and just come sit outside quietly, no phones, and just start the day mindfully, for want of a better phrase. I think it's a good thing to practice. I've slipped, but I think we could learn a thing or two from these animals. I think we could learn lots of things from these animals.
At Wild Earth, we believe every story has the power to create change. That's why we've launched the Wild Earth Impact Foundation, a non-profit dedicated to conservation and social impact. By showcasing conservation stories, we can change lives, protect nature, and empower communities. We have partnered with Empowers Africa to accept tax-deductible donations from US donors. Your donation will help fund critical programs that support our mission. Join us and be part of the change.
Would you like to know the difference between a male and female wildebeest? You can ask me questions like this in real time. Our safaris are live and interactive here in the heart of Africa. Join me on Safari Live and connect with nature.
The bush, full of beauty, wonder, and absolute chaos. And now, all that madness has its own show. It's called a Wild Bush Week. The countdown of the most outrageous, heart-stopping, and sometimes downright ridiculous wildlife moments of the week. Lions throwing their weight around. Hyenas gate-crashing the buffet. Leopards doing, well, leopardy things. Each week, It's a fresh reel of safari gold, a mix of drama,
She's just got an impala, everybody.
danger, and a healthy dose of laughter. So, if you fancy a highlight show with bite, and I don't mean just the animals, tune in to a Wild Bush Week. You bring the tea, and we'll bring the tusks, tails, and teeth.
That is an amazing flick. That is, it's believed to be something to do with the valves. That there's a valve mechanism in blood management. Blood management? That's not a very sensible phrase. When giraffes drink, and it's believed to be something to do with the realignment of valves that help the giraffe to not pass out when they are drinking, either on the way up or on the way down. But that is a fabulous. This giraffe, they normally only flick like once or twice, but this is a very flicky giraffe. Oh, it must be nice for them to get some peace and quiet there, though. I don't think I've ever seen a breeding herd of elephants up here, and I did do some reading around why, and I think it's quite a tricky area to access up here. I've still never seen this view of Mount Kilimanjaro, but it's quite mountainous, quite rocky, and I believe it would be quite difficult for little elephants to manage up there. But I'd be interested to know how far these big boys roam before they return. See, I used to, in my past life, I was a data analyst, and I really do enjoy like data and watching things and monitoring things, and I would love to know like the frequency with which of these big bulls visits, or what their exact roaming distance is. I find things like that absolutely fascinating. But to monitor these things, you'd have to watch this waterhole the whole time. Marissa Lowe, you might be the person to do that. You're saying you love this waterhole. It is always busy. Let's head across to Menlo Equena. I believe there has been slightly fewer zebra there of late, all along that Buteti River, but let's head across. I would love to see how we are doing today there and who is visiting. There was when there was those vast volumes of zebra in this dry riverbed. It was very loud. I had to turn this volume down several times because the zebra sounds were just reverberating around this echoey area. Today it's just bird sounds. Oh no, there we go. There's our zebras calling in the background. It echoes. I think it reverberates off these banks, off these sort of cliffs. These two elephants are sharing very nicely here as well. Just the peaceful sound of birds and an occasional reverberating zebra. But let's go across to Tau, packed with energy across there earlier in the show. Let's see who we've got left there. Those lovely kudu bulls were very prevalent. They were looking great there earlier. Let's see if they're still around. We've got a big elephant in there and a spoonbill. Check that spoonbill. I love watching spoonbills. But this rather large elephant is also taking a bit of a dip by the looks of it. Recycled Teenager UK. Keith, thank you for your message. And Recycled Teenager UK. You're asking, are any of the reserves in danger of diminishing due to human habitation pressure, or are they all protected? It's complicated. There's always it's been proven again and again that protected areas can also be pressurised. In general, no, but it's complicated. Privately owned reserves, I believe, they can be sold. There's always a risk of that, but it's quite a complicated issue that I don't know enough about to explain in deep detail. But where there is humans, there is always a risk of habitat loss, as far as I'm concerned. And Lion Lloyd, water does indeed have a great variety of animals that are visiting on a regular basis. Water is the spice of life, or the source of life, and it's one of the reasons this time of year is such a fabulous time to visit. Although it is everywhere has its fors and against. People often ask me the best time of year to visit, and for my area, my particular area of operation, I always used to, when my mum used to visit, I used to try and get her to come on her birthday, which is the 19th of September, because the temperatures aren't too hot, they're manageable, and there is high densities of animals visiting pans and waterholes. The bush is quite open. All that long grass isn't blocking views and things, and the rains probably haven't started, which they haven't. But every time of year has its different joys. When the rains come, you hear all the frogs, and you get all the baby impalas, and it's green and lush. And I mean, we've got quite a lot of migratory birds back already. There's still many, many more to come. But every time of year has its fors and againsts. But this is particularly exceptional because animals are having to utilise specific water sources. And I've always noticed as soon as the rains come, whoosh, all the elephants, they vanish. There's plenty of water everywhere, and it can actually be quite tricky finding them. But this time of year, drive a river road and there's going to be elephants there. These elephants will spend time feeding on aquatic plants. I've spent lots of time. There's a line that actually looks like it might be more grass now, but along closest to the lodge side of the waterhole at Tau, elephants will often come in very, very close to snack on those aquatic plants that are found there. That would be lovely to go over to Kruger Shalati Sunrise. I drove across that bridge 3 times last time I was in there because it's such an awesome spot to be. See that elephant is also right in that pan now. Hello buffaloes. Oh, check these big boys. This is a lovely little island in the middle of this river, and we've seen buffalo here quite a few times. It's a fabulous spot to hang out for these buffalo. Nice and cool, and it's also a lovely demonstration of why I personally normally choose to not walk in river areas, or certainly in dry riverbeds, because these guys can quite comfortably take up a spot in the river that is very difficult to see from either side. This is an angle coming from sort of the middle of the river, but it's very easy for these big oaks to disappear onto these little islands. Ooh, I think we have more visitors at Aldonio there, so let's leave these two. Oh, look at his raggedy ear there. Let's see who has reappeared across at Aldonio. Is that his ear there? Wow, that changed quickly. That's insane. 3 minutes ago there was just a giraffe here, and now everything has changed. This is how I've been more used to seeing Aldonio. Quite frantic, high energy. And everyone's scrambling to get a drink in there without getting a little nudge there off one of these rather large elephant balls. Lion Lloyd, you used to go to Wangi National Park and sit at one of the big waterholes for the whole day, because it was like this water pan. Many different varieties of animals come and go throughout the day. Absolutely, it's like a TV, but natural and not orchestrated. It's changing, it's moving. Shame, elephant. Did you see that elephant just sprayed those zebras? That wasn't very friendly. I suppose it's better than giving them a kick or a smack with a trunk. That was quite funny. Let's see if he's going to do it again. That was a definite spray of water towards that guy, though. Lucy Cordy, there is not a clear matriarch in a buffalo herd. Buffalo herds are normally led by males. There might be a few. There isn't sort of one dominant male in a buffalo herd. I'm just trying to remember if there's also some loose hierarchical structure to the females. I think there might be. My recesses of my memory are saying there are sort of some slightly higher ranked females. Is that buffalo? I think so, but it's not a matriarchal system, no. That eland is now squashing those zebras up against those elephants. Okay, so eland trumps zebras, elephants trump eland. Lola, why don't we see buffalo at El Doño? Probably the terrain. I would guess. And I haven't seen much grass up there because buffalo are grazers. I'm gonna guess it's probably because of the terrain and lack of food. I don't ever recall seeing a buffalo here. But zebra are grazers. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I'm going to think it's probably terrain-based. But yeah, zebras are also grazers, so they're clearly there regularly. So I'm going to guess it's accessibility. Wow, these eland are stunning animals. And I noticed for the first time these very interesting, they've got very clear black marks across the back of the tops of their legs, and I spent ages trying to find out what the reason for those might be. And the best I could come up with was another follow me sign, or possibly to break up leg structure in grass as a disruptive coloration, but it seemed strange to me. It's a terrible place to put a follow me sign because no one can see it because it's at the back of their legs. And I didn't really come up with an answer that I was happy with, to be honest. But lovely to, wow, this is so busy here. Okay, let's head across to town. We're just struggling with this camera here a little bit. I've just checked on that buffalo cows question. They do. Cows, the females do have a sort of rank. So there is some sort of hierarchy in the females as well. But it's still not a matriarchal system. I just wanted to check if the addles of my memory were correct, and they were. So there is some sort of ranking system in females, but it's not a matriarchal system. This, I've been here before when these elephants get in here like this, and it smells. A.M. Tambo, thank you for joining. Thank you for your question. What is the lifespan of buffaloes? In the wild, early 20s is a good age. Often you find animals in captivity live longer. I'm not sure what the oldest recorded buffalo, African buffalo in captivity is.
Let's go and take a look. See you out there.
What does it take to handle the wild? Balance. Determination. Focus.
Yaku!
and gear that can take a beating so you don't have to.
My full name is Cedric Leslie Dold. I grew up mostly here in the Lowveld. I grew up here pretty much on the southern side of Kruger National Park, a place called Marloth Park, for most of my years. Something surprising about myself, I did play drums in a band for many years. Best sighting I presented, we found Palumba in the 2 cubs, and the cubs are just way big.
And that's it for this morning's drive.
She's just got her impala, everybody.
And we're going to be heading out and seeing what animals we can find.
Lots of disturbances in here. Look, there's a hammerkop and a black crake. There's 2 birds literally following that elephant, picking up or picking off things that he's kicking around. Look, he's kneeling. Hello, I am back. I'm not sure what happened there. Possibly a glitch in my internet, so I apologise profusely. But this is lovely watching this big elephant in here. Look at that, that must be, just think of the power that that elephant has to just sort of plough through that mud. Mr. Elemental, you're agreeing that Ellies are bullies and they even get scared if the victim pushes back. I guess they can be, but maybe they've got their reasons. I'm not gonna I'm gonna decline to comment too much there. But yeah, I guess they can push some things around unnecessarily, which would make them a bit of a bully, really. What is he? He's feeding on that. Yeah, look, he's pulling vegetation up with his trunk, and you can see those roots coming out. There's like stringy, it looks like elephant spaghetti. Tabo, thank you so much for your comment. That's really lovely to hear. You love this channel with all your heart. I'm glad you do. And I'm glad you're getting involved. It's so nice to have people commenting and getting involved with what we are watching. It's what makes the show for me, so it's lovely to hear. Thank you for being here, and thank you for getting involved. Hello, Julius Mueller. Lots of bird life around here. Can I name a few of them? Yes, I can. I'm going to lean in a bit. I can't quite get those at the back there. I can hear blue waxbills. That is I don't have a very posh laptop. Over at the back, under those bushes there on that hill, that looks like it's either it looks too big for a black crake. Have we got anyone? Is that a jacana there or a leaf? Turns out I can't name them, Julius Mueller, because I can't see them properly. I think there's a red-knobbed coot in the middle of the screen on the far right, that black bird. I think those are teals, the ones behind the blackbirds on the far left of the screen, possibly yellow-billed teals, possibly another red-knobbed coot at the back there. There we go, one coming in from the left. That is another, is that a common moorhen? That might be a common moorhen. I think that one that's just swum behind that elephant was a common moorhen. We had a lovely view of a comb duck earlier. There's often white-faced whistling ducks here. That bird calling is an African jacana, I think, that was calling in the background. Or was it a black crake? These are common moorhens here. See, you know, it's all over. It's all over. Julius Mueller, you know it's all over. And I realised the day this happened, there is a massive elephant in the middle of the screen, and here we are trying to glance around the elephant and identify birds. That's when you know you've been suckered in. I remember the first time that happened to me. I hadn't been here long. It's all about the big stuff. And then one day I was in the Kruger and I said to my friend I was with, I said, "Oh, is that a grey hornbill behind that elephant?" That's when you know you're hooked. I've literally been moving my head from side to side trying to see around this elephant to ID birds. But there are common moorhens, teals, white-faced whistling ducks are easy to identify if you see them. They've got very bright white faces. But you do get some amazing birds here at this waterhole. Recycled Teenager UK. Thank you for being here. I'm glad you've enjoyed another programme. So stimulating and mindful. I'm glad you agree that this is really special stuff that we get a chance to see and send around the world and everyone to be a part of. Hold on, there's another, that's an Egyptian goose coming out from behind that elephant, unless I'm mistaken. There we go. Yes, that is an Egyptian goose, and that is a common moorhen standing. There we go. Common moorhen. Yeah, that is a common moorhen. Checking my workings. Yes, common moorhen. Lovely view of a common moorhen. The one behind that is an Egyptian goose. Very clear facial markings. Those other ones to the right are indeed teals. red-billed teals, not yellow-billed teals. I get yellow-billed teals and red-billed ducks mixed up. And there was, so I'm having to lean into my screen away from my microphone. But yeah, that's when you know it's all over, when you're trying to see round an elephant to identify birds. Jive Bunny, you always get worried when the Ellies are in that deep part at Tau. I was talking about it yesterday. I think they're pretty, I'm often stunned at how physically aware elephants are, or animals are, and how aware they are of their own capabilities. And honestly, I think he's going to be all right. But it does look quite sticky in there, hey? Wildlife Lady, hi Kelly. Hello Wildlife Lady, you're watching from Pilansberg, still on holiday, loving the show. Enjoy Pilansberg, you're just a stone's throw away from where this elephant is making such a mess and probably a smell in this stinky mud here. So please, Wildlife Lady, carry on enjoying the Pilansberg and the rest of your trip. Katie in Sydney, we had a long discussion about taste buds. Was he getting cross with something there? We had a long discussion about taste buds the other day. And I think we established that yes, animals do have taste buds, and he probably can taste the mud, which probably isn't very nice. Is that? Oh, I couldn't quite see that. I almost wanted to say that was a crake. That might be a black crake, or it might be I think that's a black crake, a juvenile black crake, I think. No, it's gone behind the elephant. But yeah, this elephant is having a stinky old blast in here, but I believe he probably can taste some of the mud. But there's also nice, nutritious green goodies in there, so I guess you've got to put up with the rest of it. You hear that sloshing as he's pulling it. Well, we are almost out of time again, everyone. This 2 hours just flies by. And I so appreciate everyone getting involved today. There's new names, new comments, which is brilliant, and that for me is what it's about. It's a team effort. And I'm delighted you all took the time to get involved. So thank you for being here. I hope you enjoyed all the sights and sounds. Please do keep your eyes on the cameras. I must try and get in and have a nosy at night time sometime, because it seems if I can find a caracal, I'm there like a bear. But thank you all so much for being here. Please do enjoy the rest of your Thursday. Stay safe out there. Keep your eyes on the cameras. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I hope to talk to you again soon. All the best. Bye-bye.